whole time. Now,
like Kristen Stewart looks junkie hot, and it works for me. And I would not be surprised if someone said she has a massive coke problem.
Do you hope she breaks up with her boyfriend and needs someone new?
I kind of do. Sick of it.
I would not be surprised if I heard they had a massive coke problem. You are a fucking girl, my friend.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there.
It's the scandals when we come back, Fezzy. 15 minutes of fame. That's people who basically, their fame came and went in the 90s. Ron and Fez.
Ronnie B, Fezzy W. Ron and Fez. Sirius 197, XM 202, The Virus.
Ron and Fez show. Wrapping up the year. Very embarrassed how much knowledge of scandal and gossip we all have. Although when some of you guys run deep on it, I think I know the superficial stuff, but what happens? And I'm still pretty sure that Bill O'Reilly didn't say the girls in Thailand said I had a big cock. I think that one was just completely made up. Now it's time to talk about the 15 minutes of fame that people had. Now, the great thing about that is it really shouldn't be based on talent. You know, a one-hit wonder still had one amount of time that talent opened up a door for him.
Okay.
The 15 minutes of people should probably be there just because somehow the stars aligned for them and they thought, my life has become special, and then the stars went back to their normal place. Davey Mack, when I say 15 minutes in the zeros, who are you thinking about?
Well, we didn't do it on the sports show, so I'm going to do it here. Mr. Steve Barton. Steve Bartman. I love this kid with his dopey, huge Walkman. I don't even think he had Discman or an iPod. It was the old school Walkman earphones and the thick Ralphie from Christmas Story glasses. And this kid just reached for a baseball, which 3 other guys did. If you notice it when you watch the shot, 3 other guys do it, but he gets called out because, quite frankly, he's the only one who can't defend himself. The other 2 guys were firemen who would kick ass if they got beers thrown on them. So everyone took their frustrations because the Cubs hadn't won since '08 on this kid. I love him.
Here's what I love about him. He took the heat, he went away, and has never tried to cash in on it.
God.
He never wrote the Steve Bartman book,
right?
How My Life Was Ruined. And now you finally see people sticking up for him when anyone brings up his name.
Yeah.
People would be like, hey, come on. The fuck, you can't blame that loss on him. They weren't doing that for a long time.
Absolutely not.
But people have come back around on it.
I mean, Moises Alou started, the left fielder for the Cubs at the time, throws the glove and points at him. It's like, you can't do that. You can't
Moises was caught up in the moment, too. Everybody was caught up in the moment. Fez Whatley, Steve Bartman, he was a fun one. Who you got for us? 15 minutes.
One that I just became obsessed with this story, the runaway bride from Georgia. Her name was Jennifer Wilbanks.
Big eyeballs.
Just big, giant eyeballs.
Give me a picture of her, because I am lost on this. So why did they call her the runaway bride?
She got cold feet, didn't want to get married. I think it was in Atlanta. And then made up this gigantic story that she had been kidnapped. And the FBI got called in to find her. And it was all made up. And she ended up being brought home back to Georgia. I think she ended up out west somewhere. With a blanket over her head. She was just walking through airports with a giant quilt.
She just didn't want to get married. She made up this huge story.
Yeah.
That was a funny one. I mean, you just say I don't want to get married. You're calling feds and shit.
Some people can't tell their parents, I've changed my mind.
And both families were looking for her and trying to get help.
Horrifying.
This woman was just nuts. And she looks it.
How about you, Hicks? What's yours?
Oh, that asshole William Hung, who fucking got a goddamn record deal off of goddamn American Idol, and the only reason he gave him money was so America could laugh at him. It's so frustrating.
Here's who I hope takes a good long look at William Hung, and that's the morons of Jersey Shore, because you are not entertaining people. You are making the fucking people who have no cool feel better than you. And that's all this show is about. You can tell the people who worry about their place in the world by the people who can sit and laugh at the idiots of Jersey Shore and feel like somehow they're cooler than them. William Hung was the same thing. It was a chance for people with no talent to yell out, "He really stinks," and then act like, "Yeah, go for it," like they're teasing the retard.
Right. When he actually parlayed it, he got a record deal. He put out a record.
I'm sure they ended up paying him in cotton candy.
Maybe green cards as well.
That thing is just like saying, "Stalker Patty, you look pretty today." It's just fucking, it's just mean. There's a sense of cruelness in it. I'm going to give mine, and of course mine is, came and went so fast. This might only be 14 minutes.
Okay.
But it was a bizarre story when a gentleman named John Mark Carr admitted that he killed Jean-Benet Ramsey and was arrested, taken in, and got such massive play on it, only to hear he lied, and there was no reason for him to make it up.
Why?
To turn yourself in as if you did something and you had nothing to do with it at all. And I just loved the wasting of taxpayers' money and network airtime.
Yeah, because I think he had to be brought in from another country.
Thailand. They flew him in.
He was the guy who had the big dick in Thailand. I think he needed a free trip back from Thailand.
He was totally insane, and he was basically, like John Mars without a mustache. You could tell he was making a story up.
All right, I'm just going to say something to Fez, and no one else will get. But there's the picture of him, Fez, and pay attention to the name Dan Chapello, and that's just a guy that Fez and I used to know years ago. Actually, I started doing comedy with him, but he looks a lot like that guy. He was great for what he was doing, just wasting everybody. It was punked. It was a punked episode. All right, let's go over some of the people who had 15 minutes of hot fame over the decade. A personal favorite here, Balloon Boy. Best TV of the decade.
Huge.
When I found out Balloon Boy was still alive, I hadn't been that thrilled in my life.
We've gotten some, Balloon Boy was a great one.
Here's one that got hot, and then you'll occasionally still hear about her, and that's Octomom.
Never liked her, never cared for her.
I still shopping a reality show, trying to get something.
I didn't understand the story so much. Like she's poor.
She's fucking human Jiffy Pop.
Yeah,
her fucking belly just popped up like Jiffy Pop. Then she started spitting kids out like rats.
And why did people have a problem with her? That's what I never understood.
Because she already had 6 kids at home and couldn't afford them.
Oh, okay.
Chimp Lady made it big, and of course she would just... now, which one do you consider Chimp Lady, Fez? The lady who was attacked or the lady who owned the chimp?
I consider the victim, the one who got attacked, to be Chimp Lady.
See, I don't like the idea of that, because that's like calling someone that was raped lady. You know what I mean? The crime happened to her.
Terrible.
I think Chimp Lady owned the chimp.
We really...
Or if a kid was murdered... Murder Boy. My favorite was Murder Boy.
It seems like her unveiling on Oprah knocked Balloon Boy out of his 15 minutes. I think that's when he finally was out of the papers, when Chimp Lady was revealed.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, those things, like we said, they come and go on a news cycle of their own. And the weird thing is about all these stories is you start to know these people. Here's one that made it big, particularly her picture online, and that was Lindy England, and she was the Abu Ghraib girl who did that was
The
pointing.